Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today. golf.breck.org. golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Tigers moved to 2-0. Shea Dixon at the College World Series. Shea Dixon later this hour as well. We'll get a check-in on Arkansas and UCLA. A lot to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
LaVue awaits, shores, fires, ground ball towards Dickinson, glove side handled, throw to first, and the Tigers stay in the winner's bracket with a 9-5 victory over UCLA.
Chris Blair on the LSU Sports Radio Network. LSU, you heard him say it, dispatches the Bruins 9-5, the resumption of a game that went into the weather delay on Monday night with LSU leading 5-3 after 3 innings. You wondered what LSU would do on the mound with Anthony Ianson burned. how the offense would respond, what the energy would be like. And we very quickly got all of those answers. Kason Evans was awesome, going 4 1/3, right there in the top of the fourth. Ground out strikeout, weak single strikeout. The bats come up after 2 quick ground outs. You turn the lineup over. Derek Curiel single, Ethan Fry walk, Stephen Milam RBI single, Jake Brown RBI single. Just like that, it's 7-3. Tigers are off and running. They wouldn't look back. A little bit of a bumpy eighth, which we'll get into. But LSU wins 9-5. And now for the first time since 2009, LSU has won its first 2 games in Omaha, and they are in the driver's seat. Of course, in 2009, Tigers would go on to win the national championship. So we have seen LSU do it both ways. In 2009, they were in the winner's bracket, rolled through, won the national championship. 2023, they came out of the loser's bracket and got it done. This, I would say, is the easier path. Now we wait and see what happens tonight with Arkansas against UCLA. Here was Jay Johnson just a bit ago after LSU beat UCLA.
Great win for our team. Really proud of them. The mindset piece with the disruption of the game last night because of weather. I thought the response in the first inning after giving up 3 to come back and score 4 was very much in character for our team. I think Anthony did a good job settling in and getting us 2 zeros. And then, love the tempo that Kason set today. I thought he was outstanding, as he always is. And then, again, good job by our offense. 2 outs, nobody on, and get a couple guys on and get them in with more really good 2-strike hitting. And then Kason continued to do his thing and turned it over to Cooper, got us a big out, and then Chase was awesome again.
When you look at what LSU was able to do in this ball game, their ability to hit with 2 outs, to generate offense with 2 outs was pretty incredible. The 4-run first, obviously that came with 1 out. But the RBI, the Luis Hernandez RBI in the 3rd, came with 2 outs. Both runs in the 4th came with 2 outs. The run you pushed across in the 8th came with 2 outs. And the run in the 9th came with 2 outs. So an incredible job by this offense to be relentless, to hit 1 through 9, to be productive, to put up 9 runs, which was enough, plenty enough for LSU to win this game. I think our tendency right now is to just start with today and think about what the decision to run Kason Evans out there and what happened subsequent. But I do want to go back and talk about what happened on Monday night because it was part of this game, and that's happened since the last time we were here. It was so disappointing to watch how the game started in the top of the first, where UCLA scored 3 runs on 4 hits, and Anthony Ianson needed 23 pitches to get through the first inning, and they only hit 1 ball in the air to the outfield. It was ground balls on the infield that were giving LSU trouble. The first one that, Dickinson tried to flip to Milam to throw to the first base. He had another one where a bleeder that went through the 6-hole. They just kept hitting the ball on the ground, and it was finding space and creating trouble. And you wondered if that would be sustainable, and the answer was that it was not. And to Ianson's credit, he came back with an 11-pitch second inning, a 10-pitch third inning, and because it moved with a little bit of pace, you were able to get through 3 innings before the weather came. The bottom of the first, though, I don't want to overstate it, but it was just the most critical part of this game. Because yesterday on the show, if you remember, Nick Cope was here, the play-by-play guy for UCLA, and he shared an incredible stat with us. UCLA this year was 26-1. 26-1 this season when they scored first. That a team is very comfortable playing with a lead. And not only did they score first, they got up 3-0 on you in the top of the first, and you immediately responded with a gigantic rally. After Derek Curiel grounded out on the first pitch of the game, Ethan Fry, single. Stephen Milam, double. Jake Brown, an RBI single on an 0-2 pitch, by the way, to make it 3-1. Then Jared Jones comes up with the big swing to push it to 4-3. For everyone who's wondered, should Jones come out of the lineup? Hell no. That's why Jared Jones never comes out of your lineup. I told you, I was at Fenway last Friday, and I watched Aaron Judge start 0-for-3 with 3 strikeouts against Garrett Crochet. And then in the 9th inning, he hits a shot out of the stadium, tied the ball game. That's why. I tell you this all the time. It's just what baseball is now. You don't see walks and hit and runs and stolen bases and bunts. You don't see it anymore. You see that. You see dudes who might go 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, but when the one's a 3-run bomb, perfect. For Jared Jones, he did more than just go 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. He had a fantastic day offensively across 2 days, which we'll talk about. So you're up 4-3 just like that. And I don't want to underscore or understate the importance of Luis Hernandez's RBI single in the third, especially in the context when you look forward. When in the 8th, they had a little bit of an uprising. It's 8-5 in that situation. They have the bases loaded. You can look back, and I understand LSU got an insurance run, and Chase Shores was awesome and slammed the door. But Luis Hernandez, remember that sequence in the third. You lead off the inning with a 9-pitch walk by Fry. Then Milam walks. They bring in the lefty to face Jake Brown. And that's when Brown tried to bunt. Ugh, struck out trying to bunt. Why are you bunting Jake Brown anyway? Then you go strike out Jared Jones. So Luis Hernandez is now up. Remember, they led off the inning back-to-back walks. They gave you back-to-back walks to start the inning. You're about to waste that opportunity. Luis Hernandez, 2 outs, boom, RBI single, the run comes home. It's 5-3, and that's when we'd ultimately see it go to the weather delay after that. So not only was Luis Hernandez's single there huge, I thought Daniel Dickinson, the little flare that he hit with 2 outs in the 7th, he didn't hit it hard, hit it right off the end of the bat, but they were playing him deep, and he found grass that made it 8-3. And then the RBI single by Jared Jones in the bottom of the 8th, I thought was critical. I mean, you found a way to manufacture a run after Curiel grounded out. Ethan Fry walked. They went to Hawk. He strikes out Milam. Jake Brown singles on the first pitch. Then here comes Jared Jones with another RBI single. He was awesome. The middle of your lineup in this ball game was terrific, and it's one of those things that makes LSU so dangerous that they have the ability to hit 1 through 9. It's not to say that everyone's going to hit every game 1 through 9, but they have the ability. And in this game, when you look at LSU's run production, Milam had an RBI, Brown had 2 RBI, Jones had 4, and Hernandez had 1. That's 4, 6. That's 8 of your 9 RBI came from your 3, 4, 5, 6 hitters. So on a day where Derek Curiel was 1 for 4, Ethan Fry was 1 for 2. He walked 3 times, you found ways to get on base, scored.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back. And we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Ethan Fry scored 4 runs in this ball game. You found a way to get your table setters on and your run producers to drive them in, and you put up 9 runs. And not only did you put up 9 runs, but in this game, you also left double-digit men on base. You had 12 hits, and I'm looking for the left on base, but I think it was 10. LSU had 10 left on base. So you scored 9 runs on 12 hits, and you left 10 on base. I mean, you were constantly applying pressure to their pitching staff, and it was just an awesome day across 2 days for LSU, and not just across 2 days with the interruption, but UCLA ran out 9 pitchers. They ran out 8 pitchers in the game. Let me make sure it was 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. They ran out 8 pitchers in this ball game, and John Savage consistently was trying to find matchups. And it worked for him in the 6th. In the 6th inning, after you went infield single by Stanfield, and they hit Derek Curiel, they get the strikeout of Ethan Fry. So you got 2 out. Here comes Stephen Milam. They go get the lefty to turn Milam around to the right side, and then with Jake Brown to follow, they got an advantage with the lefty on the mound, and it works right there. He goes Milam fly out, Jake Brown ground out, and all of a sudden he's out of the inning. So there were times where it worked for John Savage, but going to Hawk, his closer, Easton Hawk, in the 8th was a calculated risk that just blew up in his face, and now he probably doesn't have his best bullpen arm for tonight against Arkansas. So all that to say, LSU's offense kept having different arms, different looks, different arm slots, lefty, righty, thrown at them throughout the course of this game, and they continued to adjust beautifully. I thought it was a great day offensively for LSU, considering all the variables they had thrown at them. We have to talk about the pitching plan as well and what they did with Case and Evans, which if you're here yesterday or on Locked on LSU or any of the times we talked about it, fully endorsed going to Case and Evans and for exactly the reason it played out. I want to talk about that and what it means for LSU on Wednesday, potentially Thursday as well, as we continue our show. Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR and the official beer of the Tigers. So if you're listening or watching in Omaha, make sure, even if you're at Rocco's, you mix in a Jell-O shot, whatever, make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light. Support the beer that supports the Tigers. That's Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. You can still find your officially licensed LSU 16-ounce aluminum bottles. So if you're at game watch parties, hanging at the house, whatever it may be, make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR and the official beer of the LSU Tigers in their march all the way through Omaha. All right, I got a quick break. We'll come back, talk a little bit about how LSU handled pitching in this game and what I think they'll do moving forward. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After further review.
Love telling you about the Watermark and the Renaissance, 2 amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Watermark Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. If you've never been inside the Watermark, what are you waiting on? Watermark voted by you the best hotel in the best of 225. It is quite literally the premier hotel in Baton Rouge. So if you have friends, company, relatives coming in from out of town, need a place to stay, tell them to stay at the Watermark. It's a gorgeous way to experience downtown in this historical building that's been modernized with all the amenities that you need. The Gregory, amazing restaurant right there in the lobby of the hotel. The lobby bar is an outstanding place to have a cocktail, a glass of wine, to people watch a little bit. Little staycation this summer. You're not hitting the road to get out of town. You want to stay in Baton Rouge and experience all that downtown Baton Rouge has to offer. Stay downtown at Watermark Baton Rouge. And, of course, they can host your next event. It's the premier hotel property in Baton Rouge. Watermark Baton Rouge.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
The 1-2, and a swing and a miss. Again, that off-speed pitch just falls off the table and ball's nowhere close, swinging over the top of Evans.
Yeah, Coach Johnson had told me that once we got out of the delay that I would be on the mound, and then it got rolled over to today. So, just went back to the hotel and got ready for today, woke up early, and the mindset stays the same no matter when I come in the game, if I start or if I close. So I was just going out there and doing my best to help my team win.
Case and Evans, 4 1/3 of 2-run ball, just 4 hits. He struck out 5, did not walk anybody. Of course, those 2 runs were given up by Cooper Williams, but charged to Case and Evans as he left with those 2 men on base. The thing about that cut from Case and Evans that stands out the most to me is Jay Johnson told him on Monday night he was going in whenever the delay ended. It just rolled over to today. So as much as we talked about it, debated, thought what Jay might do, there was never any hesitation. And I think it's a really good illustration of mindset in a tournament and how it differs from the regular season. This might sound obvious, but I'm going to say it just so we have the conversation. In a regular season where you're going into a weekend, you know you have 3 games and your objective is to try to win 2 out of 3 games. You'd love to win them all, but realistically, you want to put yourself in a position to win a weekend. And that's also the case when you get to the championship series in Omaha. But you have to get there. And so you're looking at the best path to get there. And the best path is to stay in the winner's bracket. And so whatever you have to do to start 2-0, you do that. It's the same reason you started Anthony Ianson in game 2. Why did you start Cade Anderson in game 1? Like, you know the answer, but why did you gave you the best shot of starting 1-0? Why did you start Anthony Ianson in game 2? We all know the statistics. There's been 4 teams that have lost that have come out of the losers bracket in this format to win it. Like, overwhelmingly, you win your first 2 games, you're going to go to the championship series and have a chance to win the national championship. So you go all in to win those first 2 games. You can't win them both if you don't win the first. If you win the first, you can't win them both if you don't win the second. So your best arm available yesterday was Ianson. When he was burned, you're going to your next best arm. And that was Casey Evans. It helped that you had a 5-3 lead. Probably helped make that decision much easier. I know there's all the conversation. Would you save him for Wednesday to pick? No, you don't. It's the same reason why the game that's about to be played in 2 hours and 39 minutes, why Dave Van Horn is going to Zach Root. Root threw 38 pitches against LSU on Saturday. Now, on 2 days rest, he's coming back to pitch tonight against UCLA to try to save their season. Because for Arkansas at this point, every game is an elimination game. You could say, wouldn't it make sense to save Zach Root to try to throw against LSU to force a game on Thursday? Sure. But you got to get to that game on Wednesday. Well, how do you do that? You got to beat UCLA tonight. Who's your best available arm? Zach Root, you throw it. Look at what John Savage did in the 8th inning going to Easton Hawk. His closer. Down 3 runs in the 8th, he went to his closer. Down 3 runs in the 8th, knowing if they lose, they got to come back in a few hours and play Arkansas. Didn't matter. Had to keep it as close as possible to give his offense a shot to win in the 9th. Blew up in his face. Didn't work. But that's the approach that coaches take in this tournament. You got to go win now. And so going to Casey Evans was 100% the right decision. This isn't hindsight. Put it on Twitter. Talked about it on Morning Scone. Talked about it yesterday on Locked On LSU. I think most people agreed. But some of you didn't. Throwing Casey Evans was 100% the right decision. He was your best arm. You're trying to start 2-0. You throw your best arm to make sure you start 2-0. It's exactly what you did, and he delivered. 4 1/3. He was awesome. He handcuffed UCLA, got you within 5 outs of finishing this ball game, and allowed the offense to pile on UCLA. And now it's given you options for Wednesday. So hat tip to Casey Evans. He was exactly what you needed. I think the only question we could ask is, should you have pulled him in the 8th? Because and I know they were talking about it on the broadcast, and Evans was starting to wobble a little bit. In that situation, he got Chalowski to foul out to start the 8th. Their best hitter. He got him to pop foul to third base. And you're going, you just got the best hitter in the lineup out. Easy, little pop foul. He's going to cruise here through the 8th. He'll be facing the bottom of the order in the 9th. And then he gives up a single, uncorks a wild pitch, hits a guy, and it's over. It's just over at that point. So they got Cooper Williams. And it's easy to look in hindsight and see that Cooper Williams went walk, RBI fielder's choice, infield single, walk, and he's out of the game after getting only 1 out. It's easy to say that, but Cooper Williams had been good for you. He was really good for you in the postseason to this point. So, if anything, the conversation could be, Should you have left Case and Evans in? I think he handled it. They handled it beautifully, especially with all the lefties in the UCLA lineup, 6 lefties to go to the lefty Cooper Williams. I think it was the right call. You just live with the result. And then Chase Shores came in and got you the final 4 outs. I mean, so look, he got to face the 9-hole, but bases loaded, 1 pitch gets the ground ball to Milam at short and get you out of it. So as you look ahead now to what could be available at LSU on Wednesday, there's a lot of different things here that Jay Johnson and Nate Yeskie are going to have to weigh. I think, first of all, it's a huge benefit that you're not going to face Zach Root. And you faced him twice, and you beat him twice. But, I mean, the first go-round, he allowed 2 runs in 6 innings. It was really good. On Saturday, you chased him in the 2nd inning, but it wasn't like you were hitting him hard. He walked a couple guys, gave up a single. That'll get you out of sorts. I mean, the first 2 runs he allowed were 2 guys that he walked. So, anyway, I look at it for Wednesday, understanding your option for Thursday is Cade Anderson if you get there. Remember, let history be your best teacher. 2 years ago, Jay Johnson, this coach, in this situation, won with Paul Skeens in game 1. And when they got to Thursday, on 4 days rest, which is basically what, I mean, in the big leagues, you pitch every 5th day. It's what all these guys want to be. Cade Anderson's about to be potentially the number 1 pick in the draft. He'll be pitching every 5th day come end of July or August. So Cade Anderson, with every bit of my being, everything that I could wager in my life and my existence, if this goes to Thursday, Cade Anderson is starting for LSU. There is no doubt whatsoever. We saw Jay do it with Skeens. It's a win or your season is over proposition. Cade Anderson will throw for LSU on Thursday if you get there. The question is, how do you avoid getting there? And you got a couple of options. You could start Jaden Newt. And, for the final few weeks of the season, we had seen LSU kind of stack Newt, Shores, Myers. And it had worked well. It just blew up on you against Little Rock on that Sunday because Newt and Shores couldn't throw strikes. You could do that. You could start Zach Cowan. And again, it didn't go great for Zach Cowan on that Monday against Little Rock. And 4 of his last 5 outings have been not good. So I understand all of the hesitation about either of those options. The other option that you have is you could go back to Anthony Ianson. And I'm not so sure that I would start Anthony Ianson in that ball game because you do have a game to play with. I'm looking at, I think Arkansas behind Zach Root is going to beat UCLA tonight. I think UCLA is dead in the water. I don't think they're a great offensive team. Their best offensive player has been in a hole the entire postseason, and they used 8 pitchers in this game against LSU. I understand the stat everybody's seen. They got 17 guys or whatever it is that have all thrown 14 innings or whatever the number is. Great. They got a lot of guys. What it means is you don't have a handful of guys that are awesome. It means you got to use a whole bunch of dudes to get through it. Against Arkansas's offense, I don't think that's going to be great. Now, Arkansas's offense has struggled. They've only scored 4 runs in 2 games. But I think Arkansas wins this game tonight behind Zach Root. So you're going to face Beitelschieß, very likely, I think, tomorrow on Wednesday. It's a Sunday arm in the SEC. You should have the option of kind of going that bullpen day, starting Cowan or Newt, see how it goes, and you play it through there. And if you get to Thursday, you've got Anderson queued up, and then potentially Ianson behind him. That wouldn't be ideal because you'd love to start Anderson on Thursday if you get there and have Ianson ready for game 1 of the championship series. But again, you got to get there. So you worry about what it looks like when you get there. It's also worth noting if you get to Thursday, Casey Evans would be ready again. Casey Evans threw 68 pitches today. He threw 68 pitches. So Casey Evans threw 68 pitches here on Tuesday, with a day off Wednesday.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
He could give you something on. You need to get 1 inning to close the game. He could do that for you. Chase Shores, depending on what happens the next day or 2 days, could do that for you. You'd have those options. Or you could throw Ianson in relief one of the next 2 days, and Evans would be full-on ready to start for you game 1 of the championship series. So Jay Johnson and Nate Yeske have options. They have good options moving forward. It's why it's so important to win the first 2 games, because it gives you incredible options, even with this delay that transpired and only getting Ianson for 9 outs on Monday night. But Ianson, if you need Ianson on Wednesday to come in and close the game for you, like let's say you go Newt or Cowan, Shores, Myers, and you got a lead and Ianson's available, you need him to go get you 9 outs to finish it, all right. He can do that. He can absolutely come back on Wednesday and give you that. But all this is to illustrate they've got options. I think it'll be Cowan or Newt to start against what I think will be Arkansas on Wednesday. But Wednesday, Thursday, Cade Anderson, Ianson available in relief. You've got options, and really good options. It's what happens when you have a deep staff with 8 guys that all throw 95 or better that are really talented and have pitched big innings for you this year. So Tigers 2-0 and in fantastic position moving forward. All right, we're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. If you're hitting the road to Omaha, before you do, bring your vehicle to Shaw Bills, get those tires rotated, get that oil changed. It's Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Whatever maintenance you may need on your vehicle, or if you're shopping new tires, Shaw Bills has name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they treat you like family. It's Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Been doing it since 1968. Find the location nearest you or schedule service online at ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. Normally we talk to Shea Dixon in the second segment there on Tuesdays. Wanted to make sure I got a full recap of baseball. Let me break, come back. We'll talk some recruiting with Shea Dixon, and we'll get back into the College World Series preview of tonight's game with Arkansas and UCLA. John Neighbors in 1 hour. A lot to do, and glad you're here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Not sure if you saw it, but there was a brown flag with a gold block G flying over the Chuck in Omaha on Tuesday. Oh, yes. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, Gordon, a fantastic supporter of the Tigers, as he has been with members of the G team for as long as NIL has been a thing now. Got guys like like Bear Jones and Michael Braswell, great members of the G team that are there representing the Tigers on this path to Omaha. And Gordon bought 888 Jell-O shots for every day the Tigers are in the field. So another day means tomorrow our guy Will Helmers will be dishing out 888 Jell-O shots over at Rocco's, courtesy of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Back to the College World Series talk. We always appreciate Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We talk to Shea Dixon from On 3, the Bengal Tiger, every week, and with a massive recruiting weekend ahead and some waves here so far this week, we had to visit with Shea. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
Really well. Okay, let's start with the drama with Tristan Keys and Lamar Brown. I guess we'll start with Lamar. A visit at A&M, announced via Hayes Fawcett. He wasn't going to take his visit to LSU this weekend. Now he is going to take his visit to LSU. What's going on there?
Yeah, I guess like most drama, it ultimately is cyclical and turns out to be nothing. But Lamar Brown had his Texas A&M OV this past weekend, official visit to College Station, and came back on Sunday. And that night, I guess it was, had put out that he was no longer going to visit LSU this weekend for his final official visit in the month of June. And we've talked every week. I mean, he's been from Miami to Texas, A&M, now LSU. He's hit a number of campuses each weekend. And then we'll talk about this more in a second, I'm sure. But the NCAA recruiting calendar goes dead after this weekend. So LSU, the final team to get him on campus. And I don't think there was really ever a doubt that he wasn't going to take that or make that visit to the hometown team this coming weekend. So what was it, less than 24 hours? He had then kind of cleared the air and said he was locked in and sticking with the original plan. So the U-High 5-star will be on campus this weekend.
Why did he initially announce he wasn't? Like, what would be the thought behind not taking the visit initially?
My best guess would be that the Texas A&M side, which had just hosted him and I've always felt was the biggest threat to LSU, said, hey, look, come back to College Station, help us recruit on our big recruiting weekend, while that would simultaneously keep him away from LSU. And I think that pitch lasted, again, like I said, 14 hours, 8 of which he was probably asleep. So, by the next day it was back to the normal plan.
Okay. The other one is Tristan Keys, the 5-star number 1 wide receiver in the country who's committed to LSU. He is not going to take an Alabama visit this weekend, Shea, but I noticed Keys has also been tweeting about like maybe Bama told him not to come. What's going on there?
Yeah, well, he's going to do a midweek visit. It was the same with Auburn a week ago when he did a midweek visit and ended up not going. So he had said, hey, look, I think someone had tweeted something about NIL and canceling the visit. And he said, hey, look, Bama's the one who said, hey, don't worry about coming midweek. If, again, his LSU official visit, they usually get in town, late Thursday night, Friday morning, and then you're there for the weekend. So time's kind of running short probably with the schedules and all that to get him to campus. And look, I don't know what Bama's complete outlook on things with Keys is, but all the same, good for LSU because they've, much like Lamar Brown, Tristan has taken a wave of official visits to campuses, really giving his mom the first time to see everything that's out there with him. And obviously the red carpet gets rolled out when you're a 5-star, number 1 wide receiver, and he will in the month this weekend at LSU. So a good time to go into the dead period by getting guys both committed and uncommitted like that on campus.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Let's talk about this weekend, Shea, because like you mentioned, it's the last weekend before the dead period. What's going on this weekend on campus?
A lot. Well, you've got Friday Night Lights, which is LSU's final camp day of the year, and that's when in recent years, really, have gone into Tiger Stadium, and a lot of the commits are there, a lot of the uncommitted guys are still after there, so they get to work out with the staff. It's certainly will be their biggest camp date of the summer, recruiting-wise, and camps are kind of different than they used to be because you could never make official visits in the summertime before. Now that's what every prospect does in June ahead of their senior year. But that will be big. And then Saturday is, because of the NCAA recruiting calendar, they used to have one open date at the end of July, and then it goes dead again in August, meaning no campus visits, no face-to-face contact. Well, now it's dead all the way through July, and again is dead in August, as it normally will be. That means that this weekend is the final chance to get guys on campus for what could be 2 full months. And because of that, LSU moved the Bayou Splash, their big recruiting event every summer, from the end of July to the end of June. So pretty much the who's who of kids who are rising juniors this next wave, in addition to the current commits and top guys, targets on the recruiting trail, will be in on Saturday, that last 3 of the night. So not to date, I guess, we're in June, but I can argue outside of signing day that this is probably the most important recruiting weekend of the year for LSU relative to just so many commits, top targets, and guys for the future being on campus.
Shea, let's talk about a couple of them. You mentioned already Lamar Brown and Tristan Keys. Another receiver, one of the top in the country, is Jace Matthews, who's going to be on campus. Tell us a little bit about him, if you would.
Yeah, he's remained uncommitted coming out of Mississippi, which has a handful of really great receivers. I mean, Tristan Keys is the number 1 ranked receiver in the country. On 3 has Matthews at number 3 in the country. So he's going to come on his visit. He's always had some interest in LSU, but again, everybody in the country that has a chance at him is staying heavily on Jace Matthews. But I'm not going to count LSU out. I've seen him land out-of-state receivers or border state receivers before, and I think right now they're kind of red hot in Mississippi. So the goal, obviously, hold on to Tristan Keys, but in a month where they've hosted a handful of unofficial visitors at receiver, Jace Matthews is the highest ranked one.
The other receiver that's going to be on campus is one we've talked about before. That's Boobie Feaster out of Texas. What's the latest? Catch us up a little bit on Feaster for those who maybe aren't familiar, but maybe catch us up on how that recruitment's going right now.
Yeah, Feaster's the guy. He's coming out of DeSoto, which LSU has recruited and signed players, football players, and more out of DeSoto. It's been good to LSU over the years when trying to recruit the Lone Star State, East Texas. And I think he got his offer in probably like 9th grade when he was camping at LSU. And he's just been around a lot and has always been one of the better players in the state of Texas. And now he's finally about to be a senior. So time flies. And
recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
He's gone through his whole process this summer, and I think most people view A&M as the team that probably is in pole position. Now, he's going into this LSU visit. We're still 6 months from signing day. He is a Louisiana native coming out of North Louisiana, but has grown up in Texas and obviously goes to high school there. But I think you look too, Matt, LSU's got Kenny Darby, Jabari Mack, 2 kids out of Louisiana, 4 stars committed. They'll be in town this weekend for visits. They've got Tristan Keys. And we already saw Ja'Kai Anderson, a 4-star out in New Orleans, put this commitment to SMU after being committed to LSU. And kind of the pitch from SMU was, hey, look, it's a 4-man class. You can come be the number 1 guy in this class. And he made that move. I think now you're kind of balancing how do we keep the 3 we have, but also add, it's a Feaster or try to go after Jace Matthews or Calvin Russell, another top 10 receiver who visited. They've got options. So that'll be one of the more intriguing things to watch play out.
Shea, I got one more for you. I noticed, we talked last week about KJ Edwards, the running back, out of Texas who visited LSU. He did commit to Texas A&M. There's not an elite running back in Louisiana for 2026. So where does LSU turn next?
The easiest question that you've asked me so far, I don't know. I have no clue. Because Frank Wilson keeps his cards pretty close to the vest. And look, we saw him only circle one guy in Caden Durham 2 years ago. He ends up signing him out of Texas in Duncanville. And then, like you mentioned, in Louisiana this year, a year ago, they had two of the top 10 running backs in the country with J.Q. Lindsey and Harlem Berry. Berry being number one. He signs them both. And then he'd only gone publicly at least hard the past few months after KJ. And like you said, today he commits to A&M. I'd assume that sticks. So we will see, I guess, who kind of he pivots to next. And as you know, it'll probably be an out-of-state running back.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Giant recruiting weekend with the Bayou Splash and Friday Night Lights ahead this weekend in Baton Rouge. We'll recap all of it next Tuesday. Shady, we appreciate you, man. Thank you as always.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, be well. Make sure you get Shea on Twitter at Shea Dixon. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. One thing I always encourage you to do is go for that consultation. If you're on the fence, you've wondered about LASIK or PRK, and there's so many different options, right? LASIK is what I had 7 years ago. Maybe you had LASIK some time ago, and now different parts of your eye may be aging. PRK could be perfect. Hester had LASIK when he was playing, just recently had PRK with Dr. Blake Williamson. Told you before, there's Evo ICL, which is an alternative to LASIK, a totally reversible procedure where it's an implantable contact lens. It's ICL. There's the custom lens replacement. Jimmy, I've made fun of Jimmy before just because he's old, and shame on me because I'm going to be there. I'm kind of already getting there. But going to dinner with Jimmy Ott, and he's has the glasses on the end of his nose, using the flashlight on his phone to look at the menu. Sound familiar? Some of y'all? Is that really hitting? Well, Jimmy went to Dr. Blake and had the custom lens replacement. Now doesn't need glasses, doesn't need to use the flashlight on his phone to read the menu anymore. You can just see. No matter your age or refractive issue, you want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses, you can do it. Dr. Blake Williamson can make it happen. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, quick break. We'll go around the SEC to wrap up hour number 1. Our Tuesday shows are brought to you by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll go around the SEC, and then we will dive back into the College World Series chat. We'll let you hear from Jay Johnson, from Bear Jones, as the Tigers wrap up a 9-5 win over UCLA, firmly in the driver's seat, and they'll take on the winner of UCLA-Arkansas, tonight's game out at the Chuck. And we are keeping an eye on the radar again, which could cause even more disruptions to the schedule there in Omaha. So don't you move. A lot to do. It's AFR.
AFR.
You are thinking about selling your home. What an amazing time to do it. There's no better person to call than Darren James. We'll give you Darren's cell. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. That's agent225.com. Right now, just listed by Darren James in Zachary on Greenwell Springs, Port Hudson Road, 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2,500 square feet, $499,900. You can check it out right now at agent225.com. How many realtors do daily ads promoting their listing? Your property. Darren James does. And you know what else? Darren James guarantees he'll sell your home. It's his guaranteed sale program. Agree to a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it for free. Agent225.com.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
You can always text the show, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Patrick said, could Anthony Ianson pitch tomorrow? Yeah, he could. And I could see a scenario where, let's say you start Cowan, Newt, or some combination, use those guys, Maverick, Rizzi, you're piecing it together. And let's say you're leading 7-5, and you've got 4 outs to go. I could see you going to get Anthony Ianson and slamming the door. Chase Shores in theory would be available as well. Like, had he not, if he does, he'll obviously he'll have the rest of the day off today. I mean, he just threw 13 pitches today.
11. So
he went 10 yesterday, 11, or 10 on Saturday, and then 11 today. So, his pitch count's low. You could absolutely use him, but if you need him to extend, point is, you get to an end game scenario, you could use Ianson the same that you did in the regional. So we'll see what they elect to do. But yes, absolutely, Ianson could come back, and I think if you have an opportunity to pitch yourselves into the finals, like if you're leading, and you could slam the door on Wednesday night and give yourself Thursday and Friday off, and then throw Evans on Saturday, that gives Ianson 3 days of rest to pitch and kind of extend for you on Sunday. I think that's absolutely a plan and an approach if you need it. All right, it's after further review. We are glad to have you aboard with us here. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. You want a Deere, Bunkie and below, there's one place you're going, Sunshine, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Okay, let's do it to wrap up the hour here. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference.
Texas A&M! A little bit of a bummer for the Tigers here. LSU had running back KJ Edwards out of Carthage, Texas on campus last week, but on Tuesday, the 5'11", 195-pound four-star chose Texas A&M over Texas, LSU, and Alabama. He's ranked the number 3 running back in the country for 2026.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
A legacy and a familiar name is the first commitment for Josh Heupel for 2027. Linebacker J.P. Peace, who is the grandson of Philip Fulmer, has committed to the Vols. 6'3", 215. He's from Knoxville. No surprise there. Not currently ranked by the major scouting services, but again, just finishing up his sophomore year of high school. He's a rising junior, but has offers from Florida State, Kentucky, Maryland, Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt, and others, but he's headed to Tennessee.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
4-star quarterback Jet Tomala has flipped from Iowa State to Alabama. Number 16 quarterback in the country, number 235 overall. He's the number 1 player in the state of Nebraska. No doubt can't wait to see the Bama bump. Just like a year ago when they got the kid from SMU who flipped and then became a 5-star. No doubt the kid that was committed to Iowa State soon will be a 5-star and the number 1 prospect in the country. Can't wait to see that happen.
The Florida Gators.
Florida landed a commitment from 2026 offensive tackle Javari Lucas, 6'5", 305. Picked the Gators over West Virginia, Miami, South Florida, and others. He's the number 97 offensive tackle in the country.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And 4-star Illinois defensive back Messiah Tilson has committed to Kentucky. 6'2", 165. He's the 25th best safety in the country. Canceled an upcoming visit to Kansas. He's headed to Kentucky, where he is their 6th commitment. Okay, there you have it. That is around the SEC. Putting a button here on hour number 1, and glad to have you hanging out with us. Remember, if you want all of Hunt Palmer's coverage from the College World Series up in Omaha, you can get it for free always at louisianasports.net. Hunt's got his game story up right now. He's got a column coming up as well about what LSU might do on the mound on Wednesday. When we come back after SportsCenter, do you want to talk a little bit about how we turn the page to Wednesday?
AFR.
I want to take 60 seconds and remind you about First South Farm Credit. Great company. It's been around for more than 100 years, since 1916. And listen, a lot of us, especially when you get into your adult years, have gone through the process with a lender of buying a house. But buying a home and buying land are very different processes. There's different tax structures. There's all different types of regulations and how things are zoned and all different types of stuff. So when it comes to buying land, you want to make sure you're doing business with someone that has only done one thing for more than 100 years: help Louisianians buy land. That's why your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. It's not just Louisiana. You want to buy land in any of the lower 48, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. So log on to firstsouthland.com.